first of all, you don't know if when you wake up in the morning, you don't know whether this is your last day of life. When you go to bed, you don't know whether you're going to wake up in the morning. I mean, you spend your life, so many years of your life, in that fear. It's just, I can't describe anything like it. I don't think anybody can comprehend what I'm saying unless they are in that situation.
Have you been able to assure the British government that you'll be investing much of the money we pay you for your oil in British industry?
Sure, because I think that our country in the next 10 years will be what you are today. In the next 25 years, according to other people, I'm not saying that, will be among the 5 most prosperous countries of the world.
In January of 1963, the King of Iran embarked on a campaign to modernize and westernize the country, bringing it away from its religious values. Over the next decade, the king became gradually more dependent on the secret police known as the VAK to keep the masses against his reforms under control. But despite this, in late 1978, many riots and demonstrations break out and become so bad that in 1979, the Shah and his family are forced to leave the country. To replace the king, the Islamic fundamentalist Ayatollah Khomeini returns to Iran after a 14-year exile, promising the people social and economic reform. Following this, a referendum is held, and on the 1st of April 1979, Iran is voted to become a part of the Islamic Republic. By the end of 1980, the Iran-Iraq War begins and continues for 8 years, turning the lives of my mother and my grandmother upside down. This is their stories. Hey Mum, okay, so I basically just want to ask you a couple of questions about your experience living through the Iranian Revolution. And the first question I want to ask was, what was your initial understanding of the riots against the Shah's regime when you were 10?
To be honest with you, we weren't really exposed to any kind of revolution at that time because I was living in airbase where all the doors were closed. We had absolutely no idea what was going on outside in the city. When the revolution went ahead and the regime, the Shah regime, shut down and he fled the country with the Queen, we really had no idea what was going on. And I wasn't exposed to any of that. Eventually we had a referendum and it was decided that it was going to be Islamic Revolution. And by the time I was 11, I was forced to wear a hijab. And you know, if you know about the history of Iran, before revolution, in the Shah's time, nobody was wearing hijab unless they were very religious people.
Your experience growing up during the Iran-Iraq War, it started when you were 12 and it ended by the time you were 20. So that was like most of your young life. And I just wanted to know like what it was like growing up in a war zone.
Terrible. Where I was and I grew up, everybody was the same. We were like a big sort of family living in a sort of a bubble. That's why I would say I had a very rough time adjusting to the new lifestyle and finding even friends, socializing with people.
What about your own personal experiences with missiles? Has anything like really catastrophic ever happened? Maybe like a near-death experience, I'd say.
Oh yes. Well, I remember one day I was sitting in university and we had a very important actually catch-up session. And then we had the air raid started. You know, everybody was running around here and there, and they were trying to hide because we had huge windows in our class. Before we know it, there was a missile, going off very close to where we were sitting, and the whole of the window, the glasses were just broken on our head. And I have seen things like ambulances carrying people. Their houses were hit by missiles. The blood was coming out of the ambulance. I've seen so many things. So when you're exposed to such an experience, that just stays with you your whole life. You go to bed thinking, am I going to wake up in the morning? Because that's a luxury, and nobody will understand unless they are in that situation. It's really, really horrible.
سلام چطوری؟ خوبی؟
مرسی.
خسته نباشی. بله دست درد نکنه. ممنون.
نسرین میشه به شما هم سوال بپرسم لطفا؟
بله بفرمایید.
مرسی. میشه یه ذره بشینی نزدیکتر؟
بسیار
Okay. مرسی. I was going to ask again if she ever had a very close encounter with how you did.
من سر کارم بودم، توی کلاس بودم، یه بمبی خورد نزدیک مدرسه ما و پسر کوچیکم توی یه مدرسه دیگه بود. من از اینکه اون الان وحشت کرده و خیلی ترسیده اصلا نمیدونستم چجوری دارم میرم. مدرسه رو ول کردم، کلاسم، یعنی همه فرار میکردیم و من رفتم به طرف اینکه پسرم رو نجات بدم و فکر میکردم که چون نزدیک به اونا بمب خورده بود فکر میکردم که الان میرم و پسرم اونجا مرده، ولی خدا رو شکر که اتفاقی نیفتاده بود. همه بچه‌ها سالم بودن و من خیلی خوشحال شدم که اتفاق بدی نیفتاده بود.
So really what you went through and what you lived through was really similar to what we learn at school, like World War One and World War Two. You had rationing, you had bombs and missiles, bomb shelters, and gas masks, all of that.
On top of that, we had the Islamic Revolution, which was fighting inside the country as well. So we were dealing with the revolution, the whole change of the revolution, plus the whole of the war situation. So we had to adjust to two different, totally life-changing things at the same time, not one by one, at the same time.
So همه چی که اروپا داشتن شما هم
داشتیم ولی بعد از انقلاب یه محدودیت هایی شد که دیگه اون مثل سابق نبود و چیزای جدیدی اومد که باید اونا رو حتما مراعات میکردیم که بتونیم توی کشورمون باشیم و زندگی کنیم.
So how do you feel you and the rest of your family kind of keep in touch with your culture?
Oh yeah.
Because I know it's a very difficult thing. Obviously culture here in the UK is very, very different to how our separate celebrations and what we're kind of interested in. So how do you think you've managed to stay in touch with your culture over the years?
I think that because I grew up with deep roots of those values and culture that we grew up with, it always stays with you, and you just cannot ignore them. It becomes part of you. Our Nowruz celebration, which is like Christmas celebration and New Year celebration, but the bonfire night that we have, like Çarşamba Suri. We have all sorts of different celebrations in our culture, which is really important to us. I mean, Nowruz, we always go and visit our family and friends. It's even with the people who fall out during the year. It's a time to get together again and have that bond together again. So it's all about being kind to each other, loving each other. It's got absolutely nothing to do with religion or anything else rather than love and celebration of love. When I came to England, I thought, oh my God, I'm not gonna
fit in.
I'm not gonna fit in. I'm not gonna be able to keep those things alive in a completely different country. But to be honest with you, I'm really, really, to my surprise, all the Iranians who live here, they're really very strict about these things. They always try to do exactly the same as they used to do in Iran, and they just pass it on to their children, and they are passing it to their children. So we are sort of like keeping it alive for our next generation.
So it's like your biggest hope for me and Ramina to kind of keep it alive and pass it down through the generations.
Definitely, I love that. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Well, I tried my best. So it's really, really, so it worked.
Yeah.
Whatever I've done has worked.
Oh.
With you.
Mm.